The Xbox Ally devices are coming, and it looks like they are going to be the kickoff of the future of what Xbox is. So we'll take a look at an article here from The Verge that is Locked Behind a Paywall, going over some of the impressions here of the Xbox ROG Ally. So Tom Warren puts out a Notepad article. He's at Gamescom and has some impressions here of the Xbox ROG Ally. Some interesting takes here. This is one that is locked behind a paywall, but we will just go through it and see what the Xbox ROG Ally is all about, at least right now, based off of his impressions. And we've seen a lot of stuff online pop up about this, people using it, showing off the OS, which I think looks really good, especially being able to switch between games extremely fast. But I also think, as he mentions here, this could be the beginning. This is the beginning of what's looking forward here in terms of Xbox and making Windows a gaming operating system. But I think will translate over to the consoles as well as handhelds and any other devices that Xbox does put out. He says here, the first thing I did when I got my hands on the Xbox Ally was rebooted. I wanted to see exactly how Microsoft manages to hide Windows beneath the Xbox interface that's debuting on these handheld devices. After a short startup, I was met with the standard Windows login prompt, but I could use controller to input the pin code, which I think was something that wasn't there on previous PC handhelds. So that, as he says here, is immediate improvement over what's available right now. That was one of the things for me with the ROG Ally, the original ones there, that was annoying, where you had this controller in your hands essentially with this handheld, but you always had to use the touchscreen to log in to the devices, which was extremely annoying. It says, as soon as Windows 11 loaded up, the interface immediately disappeared. The Xbox PC app took over and went full screen, and for the most part, I didn't have to leave. So the full screen is here, and they have the quick bar as they're moving across and launching different games from different launchers, as well as you can see Steam logo there. So you're going to be able to play everything from that, which, with this operating system, this is what differentiates itself from the SteamOS, where you're locked only into SteamOS, which is perfectly fine for a lot of PC gamers. They don't really care. But with Xbox, you're getting the full access because it is based off of Windows. He says here, I've spent enough time with Microsoft and ASUS Xbox Ally devices this week to get a better understanding of how Windows and Xbox are moving closer together. And Microsoft has created what is calls an Xbox full screen experience for these new handheld devices, which essentially takes over for Windows and hides the OS away. It's exactly what I've been wanting for Windows powered handheld gaming PCs for years now, but it still feels like a small step in a grand next gen Xbox plan. So it's still that Windows, full Windows experience hidden. And I wonder if this has an effect on performance and battery life, and if there's still bloat in the background that is going to bring this down. That is probably one of my bigger concerns here with the Xbox Ally. The main interface on the Xbox Ally is similar to what can be found in the current Xbox app on Windows 11, Microsoft's Steam competitor on PC. And this app integrates with the Game Bar, Microsoft's PC gaming overlay, to form this full screen Xbox experience. Just like an Xbox console, you activate this Game Bar from a single tap of the Xbox button, and it's what keeps you far away from the complexity of the Windows desktop underneath. You can see that here. So the Game Bar pops up, you have the home, settings, there's even a browser icon there, I believe, your friends, everything there. I believe the Battle.net logo, Battle.net launcher there as one of the logos as well, or something. I'm not exactly sure, but you can probably get different logos in the corner there as to what you were just previously using, and then you can go down here and get the games as well as your library and home. So that will be way better than hitting the start menu, searching for the game, all of those things that you would have to do on the Windows 11 PC, or even just utilizing the Xbox app previously within the full Windows 11 experience that didn't have these features. It was annoying, but this seems like this is like a console-like experience when you're jumping into the handheld. Now, they say Microsoft doesn't load the desktop wallpaper, the taskbar, or a bunch of other processes that you don't need for gaming. It's essentially not loading the Explorer shell and saving around 2 gigabytes of memory by suppressing all the unnecessary parts of typical Windows 11 installation. Okay, so that kind of answers the question that I had previously. It does suppress some of the Windows 11 stuff, and it does save memory, which will end up giving you a better overall experience. It says it's surprisingly easy to get back to regular Windows experience on these Ally devices. You can exit out the full Xbox full screen experience through the game bar or hold the Xbox button down to access the task switcher and a shortcut to the Windows desktop. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So this pops up, and then you can go to the Windows desktop at the bottom there and switch between different applications. And I think you can also switch between different games with this switcher thing, which makes it way better if you have multiple on the go. Now, the Windows desktop experience is exactly the same as any other handheld, so nothing really interesting there, which I don't think I'll really ever have to go in there when I think about this handheld itself. As much as I disliked the Windows 11 full experience on handhelds that are currently out there, it will not entice me anyway to jump into the Windows desktop unless you have to go in there to change a setting or to improve your experience in some way or download and install something. I'm sure that will happen at some point, but I will more than likely never really try to go into that part of this handheld. They say you'll still have to use this part of a device to install and configure Windows apps like Discord and Steam, but once they're up and running, you can mostly stay within the handheld optimized confines of the full Xbox experience. So yeah, right there, just to install stuff, just to do the basic Windows stuff is the only time you'll really need to go in there. You can easily connect Bluetooth to devices or Wi-Fi networks here. And if all you're doing is gaming, then Microsoft has nailed most of the basics thanks to the widgets in the game bar. And switching back and forth between Windows and Xbox modes is relatively quick, but after switching into the Windows desktop mode just once, you'll need to fully reboot the device to regain the 2 gigabytes of allocated RAM. Okay, so that's another reason why you probably don't want to always go in there. And there will be an option to keep switching between both modes without those performance savings. So yeah, you're going to want those savings. So you're going to want to do the full reboot. Well, the handheld optimized Xbox UI on the Xbox Ally device is a great improvement over what exists today. I still fear the complexity of Windows will creep through during daily use, and this is still a Windows 11 device after all, which means there are OS updates and notifications from other apps or storefronts to install that might break the immersion. That probably will happen at times, but just the generalized use of this, you can already see is going to be way, way better than what we do currently have with the PC handhelds. It says, for example, while the Xbox app takes over the left-hand swipe gesture to activate the game bar, the right-hand swipe still activates the Windows 11 notification center, which looks out of place in the Xbox UI, and the Xbox team is working to improve this, but it highlights the challenges of trying to hide the windows beneath the console-like UI. And that's the thing. This is just the beginning. This will obviously continuously get improved. And if they're going to take this experience and want to transfer it to consoles in the future so that you just get access to every single game, PC, console, whatever, they're going to have to make changes, and they're going to have to add in things here to reduce the breaking of immersion that does happen when you are using a Windows device. They say there's also interesting settings that suggest you'll be able to set something other than the Xbox app as the default boot experience on the Xbox Ally devices, potentially opening the door for Steam or other launchers to become the home app there. I feel like that's a no-brainer. That will happen. And due to the limited time with the Xbox Ally devices, it's difficult to judge just how much switching between the Windows desktop and this full screen experience you'd have to do on a daily basis. If you install Steam, the Microsoft brings any games you install from Valve Store into the library interface on the Xbox app, which to me is a big thing for a lot of people. So it makes it a launcher for the PC games and keeps you in the handheld friendly UI, which is exactly what they want. People are looking at this and thinking, well, you're just using Steam on Xbox. What's the point? It's because you're staying within the Xbox ecosystem. And Xbox knows the longer you stay in there, the more likelihood you're going to use the Xbox store or sign up to Game Pass or spend money within Xbox, even though you're launching Steam games through their experience. If the experience is good, people will want to stay in there. It says, but I did play some Gears of War Reloaded on one of the demo units on the floor and noticed the game crash, leaving me with a broken game app window instead of more gracious home screen like you see when game crashes on the Xbox Series X consoles. Hopefully something that they fix. And here's a video exactly of it working, going to the desktop, and then you still have the Armory crate as well, but I like that switcher in between the different apps that you're going to have within the handheld experience. And then obviously using your controller buttons to be able to log in is a big thing. Finally, ends off here saying, also ran into a UI bug switching into the Windows desktop, which Microsoft assures me will be fixed by the time these devices ship on October 16th. And Asus's own devices on the Gamescom floor also had some weird bugs, including not being able to use the Xbox button at times. There's clearly some work needed ahead of the release. And unfortunately, didn't get the chance to fully test out Windows Standby and Hibernation work with games on the Xbox Ally. And I love the experience of turning my Xbox Series X off and then being able to immediately resume a game hours or days later. Microsoft doesn't have the equivalent to quick resume on Windows devices, which is, to me, the best feature to happen compared to anything else that happened this generation is quick resume. And I wonder if they're going to be bringing this over to PC at some point, if it's possible, if this OS on handhelds will allow that to happen, because that's a game changer. If they can get a full console experience on the handheld, which they're there now, but still needs improvements with things like quick resume and being able to bring your own console games, it is a game changer going forward. So I can't wait to get my hands on this. But as of right now, this looks like a significantly better experience than what we currently have on PC gaming handhelds. It looks closer to SteamOS and the Steam Deck. I mean, SteamOS and the Steam Deck are still king in terms of the experience, at least just taking a look at this quickly, because you kind of already know what this one's all about with the Xbox app on PC. But I could see Xbox getting there with more updates, making it more user-friendly, reducing crashes, and then trying at the end of the day to almost reduce any need to go back into the desktop portion of Windows. That to me would be the end goal. And then of course, bringing in your current console games onto these handhelds and wherever else Xbox is going to be. But when I look at the Xbox Ally, to me, this definitely signals the beginning of a new era for Xbox, the beginning of a new kind of generation. Yes, we know they've been going multi-platform. Yes, we know they've been putting their games in as many places as possible, opening up their ecosystems to get more games for people to experience and play. But this is the beginning of it, where previously we haven't seen them actually try to make some sort of user interface to make it more friendly and feel like a console in your hands. And we're getting this here. So excited to play this thing. October 16th is when it's released. We did see the prices by Bilibili, $550 for the ROG Ally, the regular one, and then $900 for the ROG Ally X. Those prices could actually change, because I don't think Microsoft and Xbox officially confirmed those. Bilibili is basically 100% correct when it comes to those types of leaks. But we've seen what's happening with the economics and the market conditions that everyone is talking about. Prices change. I mean, the PS5 just raised in prices. The Nintendo Switch 2017 one has raised in prices. Xbox has already raised their prices for their consoles. So will they stay with those prices, or will they have to change it between now and October 16th? That is another thing. Because if they push the thing up to like $1,000 for the Ally X, that will immediately put it out of even more people's price range that they would want to spend on this. But that's it for me. I just want to go over that, as it's a pretty good breakdown and impressions article of the UI, how it works with Windows and stuff. I'll end the video there. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.